Severe thunderstorms once again likely to impact northeast New South Wales and much of southeast Queensland today, with large hail, damaging winds and heavy rainfall, and some storms could contain destructive winds and giant hail in excess of 5 centimetres in diameter. So looking at today's thunderstorm map, you can see widespread severe storms possible from Cairns all the way down the coast into northeast New South Wales, where these yellow highlighted areas will show where we could get severe storms today. But of particular concern are our residents and community in this red highlighted area, and that's where severe thunderstorms are likely today, containing large hail, damaging winds and heavy rainfall. And as I mentioned earlier, some of these storms could bring destructive winds and giant hail in these red highlighted area. Now, not everyone in this area will be experiencing severe storms today, that those that do are likely to see some pretty severe storms this afternoon into the early evening hours today. So let's look at that in more detail. So we can see some morning storms moved off the coast this morning. Then we're going to see storms, showers and thunderstorms fire up again early this afternoon and then become widespread through the mid-afternoon and early evening hours, pretty much from Cape York all the way down through eastern and then into southeastern Queensland. Notice storms will be quite more isolated through far northeast New South Wales and southeast Queensland, but they're likely to be intense down there with widespread severe storms further north. But note, as we get into the evening hours, storms quickly disappear as they lose the heating of the day. But with severe storms forecast, impacts once again are going to be on the high end, like we've seen over the last few days. You know, large to giant hail, big enough to cause damage to properties, vehicles and crops. You do not want to be outside in that, so please move your cars under cover and stay inside when a storm approaches. Damaging to destructive winds at and above 100 kilometres an hour is easily enough to bring down trees and power lines, cause property damage to homes, properties and businesses. And then as we get later in the day, particularly through the Wide Bay and Capricornia, some of those storms could become slow moving and they could introduce a heavy rainfall threat that could lead to flash and localised riverine flooding. But then we move into Friday and we see the focus shift into central parts of Australia on Friday, with severe thunderstorms possible in Northern Territory and much of inland South Australia as well, just north of Adelaide. But notice, looking finally quiet in southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales on Friday, gives us all a break to clean up and recover after a big week of storms there. So let's look at this in more detail. The focus on Friday, again, South Australia and NT, where the next weather system moves in, combined with the moisture to bring widespread rain and thunderstorms through inland areas. And some of those storms could be severe, with large hail, damaging winds and heavy rainfall through inland parts of South Australia and southern parts of the Northern Territory. Adelaide could see rain and storms tomorrow, could be some heavy falls with that, but the severe risk probably more so north of there, but something to watch if you live in and around the Adelaide area. But notice, much calmer and clearer day in southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales. But all this weather will move eastwards on Saturday, and that means another day of severe thunderstorms on Saturday for much of eastern and southeastern Queensland and far northeastern New South Wales, with another round of large hail, damaging winds and heavy rainfall possible for many in this yellow highlighted area. So let's look at all of that in more detail for Saturday. We're going to see that weather system through central parts of the country move into eastern parts of the country during Saturday morning, and then approach our populated eastern parts of the state as we get into Saturday afternoon and evening, with a big band of rain and quite a few thunderstorms in there as well, and some of them could be severe with heavy rain, large hail and damaging winds, and could even see more storms fire up through inland areas as we get into the overnight hours as well. So with all this severe weather still ongoing through large parts of eastern Australia and into central parts of Australia on Friday, make sure you get the latest forecasts and warnings for your location via our website, app and social media. You can always track storms on radar, and when storms have moved through, you can get the latest advice from your local emergency services. And we'll see you again next time.